Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sade Cherie, and I am back with another review. This time we are reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, baby. When I say these girls got it popping over the weekend, the episode that just dropped, it is episode 14, season 17. And let's go ahead and hop right into it. But first, I need everybody to hit the like button, hit the subscribe bell. You will be notified of every new video that I drop or any new content. All right, so when the show opens up, they are in Scotland. It is day two, and they are all there to celebrate Phaedra's birthday and, of course, just the general cast trip. The girls have breakfast. Over breakfast, the conversation surrounds Kelly and how she feels like the girls are showing up and being supportive. They briefly discuss how Kelly and Portia have buried the hatchet. Now, what they do that for? Because I don't think Shamia was aware of the conversation that took place the night before. Now, if you remember last episode, Cynthia, Phaedra, Drew, Portia, and Kelly gathered in Phaedra's room. They had a kumbaya moment, if you will. And Kelly and Portia decided, hey, let's go ahead and bury the hatchet. I'm tired of fighting with you. You tired of fighting with me. Let's be friends. That's where they are. Now, at the table, after this comes to light, Shamia has a very disturbed, sick to her stomach, I need to throw up kind of look on her face. However, she swallows that and the day continues. The ladies go outside in their furs, their plaids, their jackets, and they start playing these Scotland games, honey. So I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, we had like a Nintendo game where it used to be like a log throw. You used to be able to run on logs and then throw the logs. So these girls are throwing the logs along with hammers, Thor, if you will. And it's a cool little scene. Everybody's having a good time. Portia wins a game, and then they get to tug of war. In the tug of war, two teams, you got Kelly, Shamia, Cynthia, Phaedra on one team. The other side is Angela, Portia, Drew, and Pinky. When I say Drew Nim literally drug Bo Kelly, they drug her and her little legs were kicked up in the sky. That was a fun scene. It was nice seeing everybody have a good time, get along, laugh. And after that, the girls all go back in the house, start getting themselves together. We see Kay, Michelle, and Pinky having a conversation in the kitchen, spilling tea and drinking tea. So K Michelle basically tells Pinky that she still does not feel like her and Shamia are in a good space. After the conversation that Kay had with Shamia, where she felt like Shamia hurt her feelings about not wanting to be friends with her or not wanting Shamia's friends to be upset that Shamia and Kay are friends. Kay said the energy has just been thrown off. She goes on to say, Shamia is changing. She's kind of become a monster. I didn't like that. I don't know how y'all feel. I just feel like Kay is doing the most and is aligning herself with the women who have been at Shamia's neck. I feel like Shamia is the punching bag of the season. She's the Drew of the season. It seems like the past couple of seasons, every new person who came on the show tried to throw punches at Drew. Shamia is now filling that role, and unfortunately, I don't think she can handle it as well as Drew did. Now, after they have that conversation, we now see Shamia in her room, just like I said, not doing great. She calls her mom. And of course, mamas always know when something is wrong. So her mama is basically like, what's going on? You're not okay. Shamia tells her that she's just tired of fighting. You know, she's having a good day today, but last night was a little overwhelming and she kind of feels like everybody is on her. Everybody's picking on her. She can't catch a break. And truth be told, this is what I think Shamia is feeling. At that table at breakfast, she realized she is the only odd man out. Portia made up with Drew. Portia made up with Angela. Portia made up with Kelly. Cynthia is friends with Portia. Phaedra is friends with Portia. Pinky is cool with Portia. All roads lead to Portia. I personally think this is not an accident. I think this is by design. I think Portia is a lot smarter than what people give her credit for. I don't think Portia wants Shamia on this show. Portia been running things, and Shamia has all of the makings to run things. And I think it is easier for Portia, who is a veteran on the show, to create a positive environment, alienate Shamia in the process, and let Shamia disintegrate, implode, and self destruct. And I think that's exactly what happens at the end of this episode. Let's continue. So the girls get themselves together. Pinky has a little breakdown right before they leave. She tired of spending money. They console her and they have a few laughs. Then the ladies go to um, like a history museum, if you will. They go over there, learn about the history of Scotland and basically how back in the day the plaids used to mean something. Each family lineage had a certain color or stripe of plaid, and it's basically you're repping your family, you're repping your set, essentially. So Portia is like, you know what, girls, we're having such a good time. We're here celebrating Phaedra. I'm gonna go ahead and buy everybody whatever you want, like one item. And all the girls are like, all right, Big P with the big pockets, come on, let me get my stuff. Her and Kelly have a little cute moment. And Kelly's like, oh, can I get more stuff? And Portia's like, girl, you on a budget. Everybody has a cute little laugh. The next scene we get to is the scene and the girls arrive at the restaurant. At the restaurant, Portia and Kelly again still vibing. They sit down, order their drinks, and Portia is like, "Hey, you know what? Let's order one of everything." And then Kelly was like, "All right now, Portia, do you need another girlfriend?" And it made the table fall out. Basically, everybody is laughing, kikiing. A good little moment. Then Angela turns the attention to Drew, asks about Drew's music. Drew is basically like, yeah, it's good. I'm about to release this album and a song with Ray J. And she goes on to say how she and Dennis have been, working together still. They had a conversation the other day. Dennis poured out his heart to Drew, basically saying, hey, I miss my family. And Drew is asking Portia, so what's tea? Do you think Dennis wants to be with you? Like, how you feeling? Angela interjects before Portia can actually address what Drew asks. And Angela is like, well, what's going on between you and Mike? Portia goes on to say nothing and how Dennis really has a problem anytime she starts dating people. She thought Mike was cool, but Dennis thinks he's outside too much. Dennis had a problem with she started dating Sway. She thinks it's because Sway's a woman and he might be feeling some kind of way, like maybe he ain't got a shot ever again if this is how she, is wanting to move forward in her life. She also says it's been priority number one, and she thinks the only thing Dennis should worry about is whether or not she has people around Pilar. And she doesn't. They're very careful, both of them, to protect their daughter and not bring her around the people that they date. So that is a perfect segue for Shamia to then ask Portia what she said to Dennis about not allowing Pilar, Portia's daughter, to play with Shamia's daughter. So apparently, Gerald, Shamia's husband, had a conversation with Dennis about that very thing. And so Portia is like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with Pilar coming to your house. You and I are not in a good space. Anybody who I'm not cool with, I just don't think it's a good idea for my child to be around them. Shamia is rightfully hurt because they have decades of friendship. And she was like, I would never do anything to your daughter. And I would hope that, whatever's happening between us, our lack of friendship, our fallout would not affect what our kids have. And Portia reiterates, hey, the way that I spoke to you and you to me, I would never allow my child to be around someone like that without me unless it was my sister. Shamia then recalls a moment earlier in the season at the cast dinner, the one where Drew was on the phone with Black all dinner. She recalls that Portia kind of shuts down the elephant in the room about those two beefing and says something to the effect, well, Shamia is like a sister. We gonna be fine. Like it's like fighting with Lauren. And Shamia brings that up, rightfully so. Like, if you say sister, these are your words. Portia then responds and says, well, other things have came to my attention. And since that moment, I don't think you and I have been able to reconcile, something to that effect. But basically other things have come to Portia's attention that made her no longer feel like her and Shamia are sisters. And then Shamia said, well, other things that came out were because of what you said on your public platform. You went on social media and basically said something about my mom buying your mom's daycare. Portia retorts and is like, well, yeah, because it's true. What she say that for? Shamia said, well, you told part of the business, but you didn't tell it all. You said my mom bought your mom's daycare, but what about the fact that your mom tried to sleep with my dad? Baby, when I say the looks on everyone's faces, baby, wigs flew back, mouths were open, flies going in, pearls clutched. Shamia dropped a bomb, and after that, it was up and stuck. Portia then says, baby girl, hold up. I knew you was going to say that. And so I talked to my mama about it. And she said, oh, she's flabbergasted because your mama, Shamia's mama, tried or did sleep with your dad's brother. Shamia is shocked and appalled and is like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's a lie. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of bees. You low down dirty snake. You a snake in the grass. Your mama trash. All of the above. Baby, when I say shovels, dirt, 6 feet under, this friendship is dead. Unfortunately, I don't think they can come back from this. I think a lot has happened. I think there's a lot of resentment on both sides, especially Shamia's side. After that happened, Portia, continues to talk to the girls. Shamia and Kelly leave. Shamia is in the car crying, upset about the whole situation, about what was said about her family, about the friendship, about feeling like Portia just wants to be liked and has no loyalty. Portia is calm, cool, and collected and basically says, you know what? I saw evil in her eyes. It's the same look she had last year when we fell out. It's the same look I saw in my ex-husband's face going through our divorce. And until she get that evil spirit up off her, I don't want nothing to do with her. And basically it's up and stuck. It is dead. Dead, dead, dead. Day after day. Girl, that remind me of that scene of Set It Off when Cleo started getting shot and that song come on, baby. It's over. We just need Shamia to be in a room shaving off her head because this friendship is gone. Unfortunately for them, but great TV for us. Who do y'all think is wrong? My personal opinion, I feel like I believe everything Shamia said. I do believe Miss Diane did that. I do believe Portia never wanted Shamia on the show. I do believe Shamia has shown up for Portia in ways that Portia has never shown up for Shamia. Do I think they had a friendship? Yes. I feel like for Portia, she's probably used to people fawning over her. I feel like Portia is probably one of those women who gets attention, has people wanting to be in her orbit for whatever reason. People are superficial, people are clout chasers, people for whatever reason, there are certain people in this world who just attract. And I think that is Portia. And I think, unfortunately, she did not want Shamia in all Shamia's light and all the makings of a great housewife. I don't think Portia wanted Shamia coming over to play in her playground. I think she was cool when invited, but she didn't want that dynamic to change. And unfortunately, I don't think it matters at this point because after you say something about somebody's mama, ain't no going back. Drop down in the comments and tell me what y'all think. And I will be back with the next review. We'll see what happens next week. All right.